Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Alison and in this video we're going to be talking about the benefits of Moringa for eczema. Remember to like, subscribe, share and comment and hit that notification so you know when the next video is coming out. Moringa is a plant that originates from India, however it is also grown in subtropical or tropical countries such as Africa or Asia, and it's been around for centuries. Now I first came across it quite by accident, and being of a Caribbean background I would go shopping locally in Manchester, and I came across it in the leaf form and being crushed and dried, and by asking what it was all about, I was given a fact sheet, and was told first of all it comes from a tree called the miracle tree, or Moringa or Leifera, and it's also known as a miracle plant as well, or a tree called the tree of life. It's called this because it has so many benefits, health benefits, not just for the skin, but it has so many health benefits that it's actually used for many ailments. When I originally came across Moringa leaves and purchased it, I purchased it because I saw on the actual fact sheet that it was an anti-inflammatory which would help the gut. It would help the gut if you had issues such as diarrhea, constipation, IBS, any kind of inflammatory gut issue you could take it for. Now it's important to mention also that if you do start taking Moringa, make sure what you're purchasing isn't the actual bark, because it's been used for the centuries also, but it's also known one of the chemicals in the bark can cause miscarriages or I guess terminations, so please be careful that you are buying the actual leaf or the seed, the actual pod or the seeds. Now with that actually mentioned, I did also purchase this as a way of reducing blood pressure for my husband. I also purchased it for my son as well, which helped him is his gut problems. Whilst we were healing his gut, we're also healing his eczema at the same time, which is the main reasons I originally purchased. It was only as a result of doing more research that I found out the benefits it had to skin as well. Now just to point out a few things, you can purchase Moringa as the leaf, that has a whole leaf. You can also purchase it as dried leaves. I have purchased it as a powder, and I'll show you that in a little while. And you can also purchase it as a supplement, so you can actually get it in the capsules, which makes it a lot easier to ingest, I guess, if you don't want to take it as a food. Now, the reason you actually purchase Moringa is for several reasons. Now, the reason that Moringa is taken so seriously when it comes to what it actually includes is because of how many vitamins, minerals, all these different things that it has included in it as one plant. It has over 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, over 15 times more potassium than bananas. It includes calcium, protein, iron, amino acids. It helps your body to heal and it builds muscle. Now, it can also build your immune system, helps to boost your immune system. It protects cells from damage, and it also has detoxifying elements. What's not to like about it? As a food, Moringa is really easy to take. So like I said, I originally purchased this as a dried leaf form, and I used a coffee grinder and ground it to a fine powder. Now, in that form, I used it in yogurts, dairy-free yogurts obviously. I used it in teas, just poured hot water on there. It's not completely boiling hot water, boil the kettle, let it cool down slightly, then add to the actual leaves. I've used it in smoothies, I've added it to my green smoothies, but I've also added it to porridge when it's a really fine powder. And also with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, ACV, a little bit of lemon water. I've actually mixed it or shook it in a jar of some cold water or room temperature water. And that could be distilled water or filtered and boiled water or just mineral water. I've shook it and then knocked it back as quickly as possible. It doesn't taste horrible, it doesn't even taste bitter. Now, when I purchased it as a fine powder, I've mixed it into my lattes. I've mixed it into my porridge as well, and all I've done there to sweeten it is use a local natural honey. Now the benefits don't just end there, because you haven't got to just ingest Moringa. You can also use it directly on your skin. If you use it on your skin directly, you can actually buy it as a Moringa oil, and I will leave a link below in the description to tell you where you can get that from. But you can also add it as a fine powder to your face masks. I'm going to tell you how. When I've used Moringa as a face mask, I have literally got a teaspoon and then leveled it off of Moringa powder. I then got a teaspoon and leveled it off of bentonite clay. Now I shook them together or stirred them with a spoon in a little bowl. Then I've either added about 2 teaspoons of distilled or mineral water. and then put directly on the face, let it to dry, 15 minutes or longer. I've been in the bath for much longer than washed it off later on. Or I've mixed it with other powders. Now when I mixed it with other powders, I could have mixed it with something like spirulina, wheatgrass, and gluten-free wheatgrass, and also one of my favourites is to also put a tiny bit of neem oil in there. Now if you're using it as a moisturising face mask, I've added honey to the actual mixture. I've added hemp seed oil, or even the moringa oil as well, which you can purchase. You don't just have to use it as one thing, you can actually add it, dab it on spots as well. So really it's about personal preference. If you want to use it on its own with a bentonite clay, you can also use it with, what's the clay? There's a rasul clay, and there's also one that begins with kaolin clay, that's the other one I was thinking of. So again, it's completely up to you. It's a really, really basic homemade mask, but I'll also show you how I mix the different moringa with different powders as well. Now I will flash on screen the moringa powder that I purchased, which I purchased to ingest daily, and I use on my skin also, but I'm just going to quickly show you the actual powder up close. Now, because the actual packet I buy is a 1 kilo packet, I do dispense it into like a honey jar or jam jar. And just to show you some up close, now this spoon is actually made of bamboo. So this is what it looks like up close, there we go. It's green, it's very light green in fact. Can you see that? It's a light green powder, and this particular one is a very, very fine powder. When I did buy the actual dried leaves and grind it into a powder myself using a coffee grinder, it didn't look as fine. I don't believe it damages it by by actually grinding it, because I know with some powders, when you buy them by a factory manufacturer, the actual process of taking it from a leaf into a powder, because it heats the powder up and gets too warm, it can damage it. But I don't believe that happens with moringa. So I'm going to show you on the next clip just quickly how you can actually stick it into a jar and then drink it, and also how you can stick it into a bowl and make it into a mask. Okay. So if you're wondering why there's a sudden appearance of a table, it's because my husband is cooking in the kitchen and the living room has the best lighting. So rather than taking everything over there, brought it here. So just to say, my head will remain chopped off whilst I just show you briefly how simple it is to make the drink, and then I'll quickly show you how to make the face mask. So this is the moringa powder, which has been decanted into the jar. So I love to reuse and recycle. So I've filled another jar with about 1/3 of the weight of water. Really simple. And then I'm going to take my decanted apple cider vinegar, which I just put into another empty bottle. 3 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, but I actually like the taste, so sometimes I have more. 1, 2, and 3. Now this should be 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. And again, I would normally just, if it wasn't for the camera and showing you guys, I would just throw it straight in and then try and tip it into the actual teaspoon. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now this is preference. If you prefer less of a stronger taste, then do less of a stronger taste. Then as before, I always leave a spoon in here. This is like bamboo, as I mentioned before. You want to probably get about 3 of these to make it worth your while. Now remember what we said. This has lots of health benefits, but always do your own research before trying any of this stuff. Okay, I'm going to take this spoon out, and again, I wouldn't normally have the spoon in there. I'm about to leave a mess. What I would normally do is put the lid on and then just give it a shake. And that is the drink ready to drink. So just to prove it hasn't got a disgusting taste, I'm going to sit down behind the table and have a few gobfuls of this, and this is how quick I drink it in the morning. I actually like the taste of this. And like I said, as well as being good for the skin by ingesting, it's also good for the skin on the actual topically. So I'll show you in a moment how I make a face mask. So you've got a headless body again. Now before I make this mask, I'm just going to say, because this isn't a shop bought mask which has any preservatives in it, You shouldn't use the mask for more than 2 days, and if you do have it for a second day, then make sure you stick it in the fridge. So again, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this time a heat teaspoon, just one heat teaspoon of Moringa powder. Right there. Now this beauty is bentonite clay, and that's all it is. There's nothing else in there, just bentonite clay. It should say 100% natural bentonite clay, that is it. I got this on eBay, but it's not eBay, Amazon, but it's a company called Natural Supplies. And it actually says a deep pore exfoliator, so as well as exfoliating, it's also, because of the moringa and because of what I'm going to use in a moment, you're actually moisturising the skin. So again, with the bentonite clay, a heat teaspoon. I'm going to use a little bit less because that spoon that I just used for the moringa was smaller. Move that to the side. Okay, I'm going to stir this two together. So the clay looks like clay, there's nothing to show really. It's like a very, very pale green. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teaspoon of sunflower oil in here. And this is one that I was playing around with, so I actually infused it with cardamom seeds for about 4 weeks. So 1 teaspoon of cardamom, that's leveled. Is there enough? No, so I'm going to use 2 teaspoons. Put the lid on. So that's just sunflower oil that had cardamom seeds sitting in it for several weeks. Okay, now I'm going to use only 1 teaspoon of water, and this is distilled water that I made myself, or just purified myself. It was tap water, so if you don't have distilled water, which most people won't, then all you need to do is just get yourself mineral water, bottled mineral water, or tap water that's been filtered from a jug, and then you boiled it and cooled it. And all I'm doing is I'm taking it from a powder and turning it into a paste. And as you can see, it's quite thick, so that means I need more water. Now, because the water that I've got is only for the mask, and it's only for my face, I know my hands are clean. I'm going to scoop it off. Make sure your hands are clean before you start that, so you can do this. And get another teaspoon of water. Another level teaspoon. So I've used 2 teaspoons of sunflower oil and now 2 teaspoons of water. So it becomes a thin paste. Now that should be enough for either 1 or 2 applications. And all that's going to happen is it's going to dry completely on your face. Have a bath, have a shower, or do whatever you want to do. And still, as you can see, it's still too thick. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to wipe it on the front and the back and add more water. And just make sure your hands are thoroughly clean before you do this. So that is now 3 teaspoons of water. I just don't want it too watery, which is why I'm taking my time with this. So this is the consistency you're looking for. As you can see, it's quite thin but not watery. And you'll put that all over your face, leave it to dry, but obviously don't put it on the eyes or the eyelashes. You can see the consistency of that now. I'll put some on my finger so you can see exactly what it's like. It's really smooth. That'll be the sunflower oil. So there you have it. So as you can see, I'm wearing the face mask. It's been about 7 minutes since I put it on. It's already dry. Now I will explain that I did cheat slightly. I wasn't completely happy with the consistency. So I added some more distilled water and then about less than half a teaspoon of the bentonite clay. So because the moringa powder is quite strong, it didn't really matter that I added more bentonite clay anyway. The bentonite clay, its properties are that it exfoliates the skin without the need to kind of rub the actual mask in at all. Now what I do like is that it's 100% natural, and I also added sunflower oil. So as well as the bentonite clay doing the exfoliating part, the sunflower oil put together with the moringa powder is antioxidant. It's anti-inflammatory, so obviously it can soothe your eczema. With it being an antioxidant, it's protective against the free radical that can be caused by the sun or pollution and things like that. The moringa itself is high in vitamin C and high in potassium, so as well as ingesting the moringa, you're actually topically adding lots of good things to your skin. Now, because it is soothing, it means if your skin is inflamed but not broken, it can also help your eczema. So if you do get eczema on the face, then put it on there. Now, one thing I have done in the past, but obviously I've not done today, is when I have eczema on my underarm, I have used it on my underarm as well. So it does benefit, it's the whole body really. So look, if you're looking for a face mask for somebody who has eczema, I would suggest trying Moringa, as long as it works for you. I would keep away from the shop bought stuff, which is what I do, and I would do my best to go 100% natural. Now I'm going to leave this face mask on for probably about 20 minutes. So it's been 7 minutes already. Once it has come off, I will quickly show you my face, and then I'll be saying my goodbyes to you. Here's the big reveal. I've just washed the Moringa Bentonite and Sunflower face mask off my face. And as you can see, I've not put anything else on my skin. Whether you can see or not, my skin feels really, really soft to the touch. I've not moisturized yet, but obviously because of those 3 ingredients, my skin feels super soft. So all that leaves me to say now is give Moringa a try. You won't regret it. Ingest it and apply it topically. So all I'm going to say to you now is remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit the notification so you know when the next video is coming out. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.